On this episode of Skeptical Primate, children have a right to recess. If an employer is upset with an employee due to something that is, not violent, but employees being annoying, the employee is goofing off, the employee is being lazy, the employee is giving attitude, the employer cannot legally take away, as punishment, take away the breaks throughout the day of the employee. The employer cannot take away, the little 10-minute breaks that the employee gets, and cannot take away the employee's lunch break. Those are the rights of the employee to have. So that's pretty clear, blatant, established, easy to look up, right? In school, in public schools, children, like my son, are having their breaks throughout the day, like lunch and like recess, taken from them, withheld from them as punishment. And the kicker here is, not just that's just horrible by itself, right? Because you would never do that to an adult, but you do that to a 9-year-old, right? But the real kicker is that most of these kids, vast majority, if not all of them really, of these kids who have their recesses and have their lunch taken from them, so they have no ability to socialize, and they're getting no break, no physical activity, no ability to run around, get their wiggles out while socializing with their friends, and taking a break from the heavy load, the 6-hour day load of constant work. These are the same kids who usually get in trouble for being wiggly. These are the ones who are getting in trouble for having outbursts, for fidgeting, for singing. These are the kids who have so much energy, who need a place to get it out, who have a hard time sitting still for, the hour at a time that they're required to, or if it's like a testing day, 3 hours at a time that they're required to before getting to move on to the next thing in the day, the next classroom, going on to, music class or library, getting that little 30 seconds where they actually get to walk from one room to the other. These are the kids who need it the most. Well, all kids need it, but it seems to be the hyperactive, the kids who are super hyperactive, who are super wiggly. Those are the kids whose recesses, where they can go get that out, are being taken away from them. Those are their kids who need to socialize. They have things they need to say, they need to talk to, they have jokes in their head. They need so badly to tell their friends. They need so badly to communicate, to joke, to have a break from the constant schoolwork. And their lunch is being taken from them. They're allowed to eat their lunch, but not with their friends, not with their peers. Like my son, who, because of his wiggles,
you have to just be the boss of dancing,
had to eat his lunch in what's called the focus room, by himself, with an adult staring at him, not allowed to talk, just eat by himself, sad. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with educators? Not all educators. There are a lot of educators, great educators, who are pushing to not only have the idea of withholding recess banned, the idea of withholding recess as punishment banned, but they're trying to add more minutes onto recess. Give kiddos more of a break during the day, more time to release those wiggles. It's a vicious cycle. You're a growing child, you have lots of energy, constant energy you don't know what to do with. You just want to you run laps, and yet you get in trouble because you're wiggly in your seat. You get in trouble because you're making little outbursts. And the punishment is that you don't get your breaks, and which of course makes you even more tense, even more, your wiggles are, your constant, your energy is building and building and building. So it makes it worse. And you know what ends up happening? Worse behavior. And then they're in trouble more and more and more and more, to the point where they're going days, weeks without a break, at least at school. And then you know what happens? The school contacts the parents and says, oh, your kid made some outbursts where he said poop, so we took away a recess. And then when the kid comes home, the parent makes the kid feel even worse. So the kid has had no outlet all day, no outlet at all. And then he comes home to a parent who's upset with him, who probably grounds him, takes away his screen time, or does what the school did to him. Put him in his room, take away his entertainment, tell him to think about it. That kid, his self-esteem is being crushed, being trampled on. He's not giving any outlet to express himself, either vocally, because he's being told to keep his mouth shut, or physically. He has nowhere to put all that energy. In here or in his body. Nowhere. And then he's being told by all the adults in his life, they're not trying to help him, they're not trying to support him, they're not giving him any tools he can use to help himself, to help him to his self-control. They're not helping him. They're just angry with him all the time, and they're nagging him. I mean, what a life. You wouldn't do that to an adult. You know, adults can barely sit still like kids are required to sit still in class. It is recommended that adults who have office jobs, to get up every 20 minutes and take a walk around the office. And yet, for children who need it more, they're told to be little soldiers. They're told to toughen up, sit still, don't talk. And yet, there are actual laws in place that protect working adults, that don't protect children. The CDC has come out and recommended at least one 20-minute recess for kids in school per day. It's not a lot, but they're saying just at least 20 minutes. Geez. The American Academy of Pediatrics also recommends recess and says it's not just like it's something there that's kind of fun if you want, it's like a privilege that you can give your kids. No, they're saying it's a right. It's a right that kids need to have, and it's crucial to their development. And I'm just wanting to read one of their studies. I want to read just a very small part of the abstract. It says, recess serves as a necessary break from the rigors of concentrated academic challenges in the classroom, but equally important is the fact that safe and well-supervised recess offers cognitive, social, emotional, and physical benefits that may not be fully appreciated when a decision is made to diminish it. Recess is unique from and a complement to physical education, PE, not a substitute for it. So I don't care if they're getting PE in the day. They're also getting their recess break. Their complement. The recess complements the PE, but does not replace it. The American Academy of Pediatrics believes that recess is a crucial and necessary component of a child's development, and as such, it should not be withheld for punitive or academic reasons. I mean, this should really be common sense. It's amazing the things that should be common sense that aren't. I don't remember growing up, if you, whoever's watching, if you remember, if you're like around my age, 30-ish, or younger, but you have the same kind of situation. Think back to your grade school and think about, if your recess was ever taken from you. Like on purpose. Like some kids I know choose to stay in on recess because they have work they need to get done or they want to do art. But it's interesting, I don't recall, so I grew up in the 80s, and I don't recall ever having recess or seeing recess taken away from anyone. That was not a threat that was used, the recess thing. And everyone got their lunch, like in the cafeteria. Like I don't understand, I don't remember, I do remember referrals.
Do you want an office referral? No. Then sit down! But
that for detention. I do remember that, and I did get a detention once. And not, I mean, no one likes getting a detention, but I just sat there and I think I did some work and I read for the half an hour or something like that, and then my mom came and picked me up. I mean, I don't understand, because then you're not taking away detention. No one likes, but the thing about detention is you're not taking away from any school time or any breaks that the kid has a right to. You're not taking away their rightful breaks. But anyways, yeah, so I'm all for recess. I think it's a right, not a privilege. I think that being able to eat with and socialize with your peers is a right, not a privilege. I think the only time that recess or lunch with your peers needs to be withheld is if there is a dangerous situation where one student is aggressive or violent towards other students. So that's different, and that's not what I'm talking about. So anyways, thanks for watching. I would love to hear your comments in the comment section about what you remember from your school days, what kind of disciplinary actions were used, and what's going on with your kids. I would love to hear that. Anyways, have a great day. I look forward to reading any stories in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Cause one day she knew a couple circle as a group of clowns at an old Oprah, fat chance it'll never work. They told her just wait, one day I'll show you.
She never wanted to stand still. She told them she was coming, so they ran in their anthills. Never considered herself a thief, but the factory won't miss just one little piece. And with the power of determination, she designed a sweet escape through a cosmic creation, soaring through the